If you're interested in first impression and unboxing videos of the Wonderland 222 2026 planners, the B6 horizontal and B6 vertical stacked, and how they might fit in the clear cover, especially two core planners fitting into or not the clear cover for the all-in-one, then this video is for you. Now, before we get started, I will just say that I am very excited in this video. I might be a little bit all over the place. I did not sleep well the night before, and I'm super excited about getting the planners just in general. And so it's not the most perfect video. I did try to edit a little bit, but editing is very time consuming, and this is just a side hobby for me. So it's not the most perfect video, but it is perfectly me, mostly unedited. So if you're cool with that, then come on in and let's get started. I literally just stepped out the door and the mailman was pulling off. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that I just stuck my phone up in my kitchen cabinet. I'm gonna just open it right here. Look at that sticker almost escaped. Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness. It was sitting right there when I opened it up. It almost escaped. Thank goodness that it did not escape. Oh my goodness. There's another one. Ooh, I hope none of them fell out. Some eco-friendly packaging. Oh, look at this. I don't know that it's picking up the color. It's like a rose gold almost. So this is their I got a stacked and an I got a, what did I get? I don't remember. I don't remember what I got, but oh, this color's really pretty. Really, really pretty. But it feels like it might be smooth. Yeah. Here's I got an A5, two B6s, and I got the new one. Not the unstacked, what is it called? The horizontal in B6. I'm gonna try to use the two of these together. If I can get them to fit in a cover in a way that works for me. But I want to see if maybe I can use the horizontal for like a, yeah, it's nice and smooth. Like a project, and the other one for schedule, or I use one for health and one for work. But I'd like to have them in the same like clear cover. Yeah. Okay, there's the B6 unstacked. The paper feels smooth. Oh my gosh. Crinkly. Exciting. This is exciting. Smooth and crinkly. Nice and thin. I've got to see this horizontal. And this color is amazing. Yeah, it's almost like a pinkish red, but pink. Like here's a coffee lid that's red, and so you can tell it's definitely got more pink to it. Oh, look it. Okay, so let me look at this. Let me see. let's try the front. So just train it. Let me train it all the way through. Oh, it's got that nice like watercolor feel to it. So yeah, if you have so many uses for this. When I get further towards the back, the lay flat binding, so that's like a couple of pages. So that's gonna need to be trained just a little bit. I mean, it's doing pretty good actually, but okay. So I'm hoping I can put this in a plastic cover with this and be able to flip back and forth between them. So I can use one for like health tracking and the other for time scheduling. And then I'll have 88 pages in the back of each. I don't know, I really like my all-in-one, and so I'm like, should I, shouldn't I? First I got a B6 all-in-one, but I changed it to A5 because, oops, I go backwards. Excuse me, yeah, I changed it to A5 because my workload is picking up, and I wanted to be able to use this insert. So let's check this out. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. I think my husband just came home. Ooh, this is nice and thin. I like a lot. Okay, so it's even got the stitching. It's got the lay flat binding. Wow, I like this. I really like this cover. I wish they would put their 96 pages in a cover like this. I'm excited to see how this fits inside of the plastic cover, clear cover. All right. Okay, hopefully I can get a decent view. I was actually in the process of decorating my 2025. Loving that crinkle. And you'll have to excuse my neighbor next door who is mowing or something. So I have a little bit of a mess on the desk, but I wanted to see if I could make a video of putting I've got all of my supplies out, like all of my Tombow marker, like I've got it all out here, not because I expected this today, but because I have been doing some arting today, and so it's all just kind of scattered everywhere. But typically I will keep these in the front pocket of here. Actually, I like to keep them in here because sometimes that way it doesn't fly out. All right, so I was gonna say, if you get a clear cover and you get these, I encourage you to not get rid of it because they make very nice additions to your planner. So I'll just show you one way. I made a video about this a long time ago, but I don't know if I ever posted it. But like one thing that I did, I tried a few different things. So one thing that I did is I put it in the front of my planner, and I just used some Tombow double-sided glue and put it in. It's a little bit warm now, but it just adds a really nice touch so that when I open my planner, it just has that really, I don't know, luxurious feel to it. And the lights there, the sunshine is catching it, but like, so I like that a lot, and I liked it so much that I added another one to this planner, and I put it in the back, but I colored the edge of it so that I would know, like, this is basically my separator from the front of my planner to my notes pages, and so I can always very quickly get to my notes pages. And this one, instead of taking the back off, I left the back on and I just folded it so I can move it. So I just trimmed it down to fit, but it's a really nice page marker that also looks very classy, and so I love that they send those. Anywho, so yeah, that's that. Just a couple of ideas of how you can repurpose these. You can also trim it down a little bit to be a pocket inside of your planner, or you can trim it down to be like an envelope to hold things inside of your planner, kind of like another brand has envelopes that just open on one side. And so that's really great if you ever carry cash inside. For me, or like stickers, like sticker flakes, or stickers that you have cut down. Then if you take one side off, then you can just slide them into the side, and then if you trim it down properly, it'll go inside of your planner cover. And so they're really, really nice to repurpose. All right, so there's those. I want to see if 2 of these will fit into here, and if I'll be able to put a clip on it and carry it like that. So that's test number 1. And oh my gosh, look at that. Look at the mermaid. I don't remember seeing her on one of the stickers before, but that's beautiful. I love their art. There's this one too. Oh, look at. Oh man, that's cool. Okay, sorry, sidetracked. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna try, I'm excited to see if this will fit inside of here. I wanted to get like one of each. I didn't because they are undated, and I know myself well enough to know that I am not going to go date the months, but yeah, the paper feels really smooth, and in fact, I actually feel like this paper feels less toothy to me than last year's paper. It feels smoother, so that's really exciting. Okay, so sorry, it's really hard to focus because I'm super excited. All right, so let's first get this cover on, the A5. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been in an A5 for my everyday carry, so I really love the B6 all-in-one, and so I really kind of took a gamble this year on this system and hoping it's gonna work. I am not a I don't know what to call it, like regular covers, I don't like them. I have to have the plastic see-through, very snug fitting type of cover, and so yeah, anyhow, sorry I don't have a better like filming setup, but it is what it is, and I'm just happy to like share my process. So I'm just trying to break the spine in a little bit. The reason that I'm doing that is because to get the covers in, for me, everybody has their own way of doing things. I have found that if I flip it backwards, I don't know, this one's a little bit big, maybe I don't want to do that. Let's just see what happens. How does it go in? Oops, it fell out the bottom. Oh yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty simple process. But what I would say I learned last year with the A6 is to, as you press this way, also press downwards so that, oh yeah, that is very, very simple. Make sure that you put pressure on this downwards as you press inwards, at least for me. I learned that last year with my A6. All right, so for the other half, I'm probably gonna make a lot of people cringe, but I just like to fold it backwards and slip it in this way. And very carefully. The sizing is just fine. It is just a matter of me getting it straight and not crooked. Go. Oh yeah, that's making even me cringe a little bit. The way that I'm doing it. Trying to keep it in frame. All right, so just gonna push it from here up. There we go. All right, so that was pretty easy. Oh my gosh, this color is so pretty. It doesn't come across on camera. I saw somebody else's picture and I was like, oh, that's gonna be like a champagne, but it's not. It's almost like a rose gold, metallic. Yeah, and it depends on the light even, because if you look at this one over here, it shows kind of like a better depiction. You can see the pink in it, which is why I got it, because I thought it would look beautiful next to this one. All right, so now I want to see if this will slip inside the cover, which I'm not sure if it will, but I have really high hopes. Please, 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 please. If not, I might have to trim some of the edges down. I'm really hoping I can just slip it in here like this and that it's not gonna be too, yeah, that's not gonna work. So that makes me so sad. Well, let me, yeah, that's not gonna work. This needs to be just a little bit shorter, only because I am putting it inside the inside flap of the planner, but that is how I like my inserts to be. So Wonderland 222, if you're listening, it would really be wonderful if somehow this could be trimmed down just a little bit, or even if it was like an A5 slim size, if it was possible for it to be able to fit inside here like this without poking out over here, so that, I mean, it's not even a matter of poking out. It's just that it doesn't fit inside the cover itself. So I can't just carry it around like this is what I was kind of hoping, but I am going to probably cut this down. And I was hoping they had this in a B6 size, because if they did, I would just put that inside of here. So hopefully that's a possibility in the future. Or I could put it in here as a kind of like a placeholder bookmark. All right, so that's that. Now is the big test. So this is, we'll see how this works. I'm kind of nervous because I have my heart set on this being my system for this next year. I'm not sure how it's going to work in terms of journaling though, because I'll have, what's 88 plus 88, 8 is 16, 160, 76. So I have 176 pages instead of 365, but there's always the 90-day booklets, but the 90-day booklet is not going to fit inside of the cover the way that I like for it to fit. So that's kind of what to do. All right, so far, all right, so I intentionally ordered a 500 and I intentionally ordered an all-in-one cover, and I'm not sure if this is gonna work though. Maybe if I take a hairdryer to it, but I think this is not going to fit. I can tell already right there. Let me see. But that's not all the way to the edge, so let me see if I can get it any further. See, this is what, don't do that. Don't be like me. Put it down and then press down and up, because otherwise you'll bend that back, or you could bend that back cover like I did, which could affect your experience later on in the year. So let me see. I wonder, so this is my cover that I'm using for this year. So I wonder if maybe like it's stretched out enough, because look at, like, I wonder, I'm gonna pull this one out of last year's, and I'm going to see if somehow they will both fit inside this one, because I've already got it like stretched out from using it. Yeah, is this the one that, yeah, this one it was, wait, is it? Yeah, this one has a more snug fit. So see that? So this one actually might work. I hope so, that'd be so cool. Okay, let's draw it. So last year's cover might actually work for how I want to use this. This is like it looks like I'm pulling hard or having to pull hard. It's not, because see how it's going like cattywampus inside there? Like it's not pulling straight out, and the material is not like, it's a little less slippery than, say, this material, which is not a bad thing. I'm interested to see if last year's will fit in here. I think not. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Certainly willing to try it out, but okay. So last year's cover works perfectly. It could be because it appears to be a different size, like it's taller, and is it taller though? I think so. Wait, is it taller? Yeah, I think it is a little bit taller. It's hard to tell because books are in there. Yeah, it's a little bit taller. And it's also stretched out from, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, it's also stretched out, I'm assuming, from having been used, but last year's clear cover does work to hold both of these together. So now the test is going to be like, can I travel around with it without them slipping? So I already pre-thought out a little bit. If you've been on my YouTube channel, then you know I really love Midori belt seals. And so I try to have some on hand, and oopsie, they come in multiple colors, so I'll just show you the ones that I have. I really liked the year that I used this white one. It's not just white, but it's kind of, let's see, like a pearlescent, and the pearlescent inside of it is pinkish. And so I was like, yeah, I gotta have one of those for this. But also, the year that I did use this, I really liked it because the other side of it I used as an art palette. And because it's white, I could actually see the colors that I was laying down. And I could even like scribble pen on here and then pick some of that pen up with my paintbrush. And so it worked out very, very well. I can do the same thing with this, but I can't see the ink that's laid down on it. Anyhow, they have brown, black, pink, and this pearlescent white, which the pearlescent color in there is a little bit of pink to it. And I thought that would just go gorgeous with this. I kind of thought maybe the pink would go, but not so much. I think the pink would go maybe with this one. The brown would certainly go. The black would obviously go. But I'm going to go with this white one. So, anyhow, I always try to have these on hand because planner junkie, and I never want to run out because it's just so handy. Okay, so how these work is that now they have two kinds. One is a stamp and one is one is a stamp and one is a magnet. I do not like, what am I thinking? A snap, not a stamp. One is a snap and one is a magnet. I like the magnet. I do not like the snap. And the reason why is when you open your planner to write, oops, I got that in there. Are these both upside down? Oh, okay. That snap underneath is gonna cause too much of a interference with the writing process, and it'll go back and forth like this. But so this one is more flat, and that is why I like it. The other thing I will just say is that you can reposition these if you need to for the first couple of times. And they also have a pin loop in there, so that when you put it on, you want to make sure you have your either your most favorite pin or your fattest favorite pin. So I use this pin most all of the time, but I also, like if I'm traveling, then I will use one of these, or I will use a Uni Jet Pin Slim 3 or 4, but I don't believe I have one of those. Is it this one? No, this one's got like 5, 2, 3, 4, and a pencil. Isn't that cool? You can get a multi-pin with a pencil. But anyhow, if I know that I'm traveling, or I just want to have a bunch of inks accessible to me, then I'll have a fatter pen. But this is my most favoriteest pen. So when I put these on, I will typically try to make sure that at least a 3 pen will fit on there. I just got back from travel, but I think this is skinnier than this one. It's another one of my favorite pens. Yeah, so I try to pick the fattest one, and then that way I know it's gonna work, and then I can switch out however I want. But to be honest with you, most of the time I just open it, toss my pen inside, close it, and snap it and go. That's really, to me, easier. The only reason I would typically want something here is if I have a highlighter with me. My favorite highlighter, however, does not have a clip on it, and so I don't trust to put it down inside of here. Okay. So I would just encourage, if you do get one of these, to put your fattest favorite pin inside of it while you're trying to fit it onto your planner, so that there we go, so that you can get it positioned correctly, and then when you pull it out, there might be a little bit of, play there, but also consider, as the year goes by and your planner bulks up, you're going to want some play there as well. So I know that I would want mine to at least be like this. And the other thing you want to consider is if you're going to slide your pen down in here, do you want it to be where the clip is? So it'll loosen up a little bit through the year, but like, do you want it to be able to catch instead of just slide out, right? And so if that's true, then perhaps you don't want to put it in the middle, because now your pen might go down past the edge or get pulled out. So maybe you want to slide it up a little bit. You do you. I'm just sharing some things with you that I learned through the years. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that this fits inside of this cover. All right, so what I do is I try to get mine positioned. I really like these colors together. And it's a little bit tricky too, because like, you don't want it to be crooked, and you want it to just naturally flip down. So, but once you take this off, the sticky part is going to be on the planner itself, or the planner cover. All right, so it's not that big of a deal. If you do get it wrong, you can change it. I try to put mine just a tad bit higher than the middle. But if you do get it not perfect, you can still like pull it up and position it down. I'm going to push it out just a little bit because this year I did not get it out far enough, and it was great at the beginning of the year, but toward the end of the year I can really feel it. All right, so I'm not going to press really hard because I just want to get it like positioned first, and I want to make sure that it can clip easy, that there's maybe a little bit of extra space. The other thing is, if you do leave a little bit of extra space, you can slip another pen or marker down inside of here. So maybe you want to have a little bit of extra space so that you can fit two, like so. And that will also accommodate for as your planner grows. Now, if I do that, then when I pull the pins out, it's gonna look like that. But you can just kind of, you know, if you always have a pin in there, it's not gonna really make it matter. But see, that's not straight. Like, see how this one is up further, and that's why I'm not hooking it quite yet, because I want to make sure that it's not crooked like this. So I need to figure out like how much space this way do I want, and then where do I want it to fall in this way. So I'm going to put this back in here. And usually I will carry like a dot marker, but to be honest with you, like my use case scenario would probably be like this. So see, that's gonna be, this is hanging off the edge now. So I may want that backside to be out a little bit further, and also see how far up is it. And that's why I don't push really hard when I first lay it down. I don't want to do this too many times because it does compromise the sticky thing. And also, if you do have to reposition it, I encourage you to pull really slow. Try not to get your finger oils on it. Yeah, I can see, and it's probably because mine is older. It's been in my drawer for a hot minute. Oh, I got my finger oils on it. See how some of the sticky came off, so that's not cool. So I'm just gonna barely tap it. And get this one in here. Now I just need to make sure that I've got it positioned straight. So it might be about that I want it, and if I have it like that, I could put this pen and oh snap, the sticker came off. And you'll also have a little bit of leeway as you move through the year, but I did not mean for that sticker to come off of there. I want that sticker to be on here so that I can reposition it. All right. So the most important thing is that it's not twisted this way. And I feel like I want it to be a little bit snug because this is 2 books inside of this cover. And that might be a little trickier this year than what I am used to. So I'm gonna snugify it a little bit. So I don't know. Let me see if I push this. Let me see if I take the pin out, what happens if it's not snugified. I think I'm going to snugify it. Just because I know myself and I know that 9 times out of 10, I'm going to toss my pen inside. But usually what ends up happening is I'm left with a marker that falls out. And because this is a 2-book system, I kind of wonder how that's going to work. I did try one year to do a 2-book system and pin these together with glue. That did not work so well. I cannot remember why. But if you've tried it, maybe you can tell me in the comments. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to pull this off and slide this out. All right, so now the magnet is down. There's a little bit of play here. And none of them are pressed hard in yet. And it looks like I did get it a little bit crooked this way. So I might end up having trouble with this one because it looks like I got my finger oils on it as well. I really should have had some tweezers. Oh, it's dependent because it's a 2-book system. All right. I think that still feels, it feels a little bit crooked depending on which way the book moves. So when the books are totally lined up, it looks straight enough. All right, so then I'm just going to press down around here to get this to seal in tight. And I like to use a quarter, like when I do stickers or whatever, I just use a quarter to press things on. Is it possible for this to come off? I think this might come off through the year for me because I can see, like, I can feel a bump here, like there's something underneath it, but that's okay. If it does come off, you can get some like E6000 glue and put it back on. You just have to leave it there a couple days and you have to get creative with what you're doing. Like you might have to put some scratches to get it to adhere better. I've only had to ever do that one time, and it's with a cover that I used for like 2 years, and it was a cover that was textured, so there were gaps in it, and it came off in the summer when it was really, really hot out. So, all right, there's that, and then I'm just gonna push around like so. And there it is. There is my 2-book system. So if you're wanting to know what the packaging looks like, it is a Midori belt seal, and you want to make sure you get the magnet, not the snap, if you don't want that pivot while you're writing. Okay, So this is, I'll see how this works. I will see how this works, but these are really beautiful together. And so, shall we do a pen test? Oh my gosh. Which one do I want to do? Because I really am going to want all of the pages that I can have. And I feel like Wonderland 222 has done a fabulous job of pen tests up to this point. So here I have, I hope this works. I might need to, okay, see, look at, I might have to tighten this up. If that were tighter, it wouldn't be doing that so much. So I might have to tighten that up and stick with my pen in the middle. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just scared to lift this. Maybe I'll lift the back. Well, hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. I really need like even I need something thin that would slide under there, I feel like. Oh, I'm going to use my fingernail and we're just going to do it. I am going to make this snuggified. Like not too snuggified, but kind of snuggified. I'll put it there. I might have to make it pretty snuggified. I didn't even press that down. I'm gonna make it pretty snug. Because it's a 2-book system, I think it's gonna have to be like that. And then like, I don't know, I might have to get a new belt seal. As the year progresses, I think that's gonna be too tight. Because you have to remember, it is a magnet, like, yeah, that's gonna be too tight. This is what it's going to be. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. I probably should have put my all-in-one back in there, because if this doesn't work, oops, there goes my markers. If this doesn't work, I'm going to move to this all-in-one. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to buy a B6 all-in-one, because this I know works very, very well for me. Like, it's just the perfect portable size. Sorry, I didn't know you were so close there. Yeah, this is the perfect portable size, and I really love it. But I do know that my workload is picking up, and I do think I might need more space, if for nothing else, just so that I can scribble. So the thing with this is going to be, how much do I have to cut off in order for it to fit inside the sleeve? So I'm going to have to cut it off to about right here, which is going to take it to, yeah, it's going to take it right to here. Unfortunately, my paper cutter is in a box somewhere, and so I would not do that without a paper cutter. I would not do that with scissors. Paper cutter and a corner rounder, but these are very, I hope Wonderland 222 makes more of these in a way that fits inside the front cover of the planner like this, so that like I would have one in the front and one in the back, even if it was just plain grid paper. I would love to have one of these in the front and one in the back. Or if they just offer a B6 size, I would just get a B6 size and put that in there. There you have it. These two planners do fit inside of last year's cover. Again, I don't know if that's because I have been carrying it around for a year and it's broken in, or if it's because it's a little bit taller. Because if you look at the two stacked together, last year's is a little bit taller. If I unfold them, it does look to be a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit wider as well. Look at, there's relatively speaking a significant amount more on the edge, and I appreciate that because now I can use it. Two will not fit in here. Now what I want to know is, will one, how well does one fit in, or will the old planners, last year's planner, fit in this year's cover? Yeah, it looks like it's gonna fit just fine. Beautifully, in fact. But okay, remember what I said, press down and back. Like, as long as you're pressing down while you pull back, you're good. Or at least you should be good. But don't just pull without pressing down, because it'll cause a flip in this, and then you'll get a bend right here, and then that will affect your open and close, or at least it did mine on my A6 last year. But I was very hasty out of the door. Yeah, I think this would work with a hairdryer, which makes me wonder if it would work with the 2-book system with a hairdryer. And so I kind of want to go get a hairdryer. I'm not going to do it on camera, but I kind of want to get one. And first I want to see if this is just going to slide in here and be fine. And if not, then can I hairdryer it to fit? I'm going to do what I did earlier. It feels so cringy. Yeah, this fit feels, this is a snug fit. And I might, oh yeah, no, it's going really great like this. But it's kind of how last year's felt with the A6. You just have to keep them both going like at a steady, they can't get crooked, because if they get crooked, then it's not going to want to go in. But it is putting a little bit of bend there, and so that I think I'm gonna go take it to the hairdryer. Like, I can show that on camera if you want. It's just that I'm gonna have to figure out how to hook it up. All right, hang on just a second. Okay, so I have a hairdryer. I do believe, I thought I saw somewhere on the Wonderland 222 website that this year's planners would not fit in last year's covers. I mean, last year's planners will not fit in this year's covers. This is gonna be loud, so I'll probably edit it out, but you can watch the process if you want to. Yeah, that just loosened it right up. So I'm trying to keep it in frame but the hairdryer trick, like that just made it. In fact, like if I had to do it again, I would probably, okay, now once you get it in there, like see how it looks a little bit cattywampus, like you gotta kind of, at least this is what I had to do last year with my A6. You just gotta kind of, you know, maneuver it around a little bit and get it in there. But I would probably, and now you see this happening with the spine, but that's because I've broken the spine in very well. But if I were to do it again, I would probably warm this up with a hairdryer before I start. But I'm gonna just go all around it so that I can kind of go like this and get it really in there snug. There we go. So I did read that weather can affect these covers. If it's cold out, if it's warm out, it makes a difference. But I believe that this would be, yeah, I mean, you know, honestly, it does look a little bit tight for last year's. Like, see how these pages are bowing out right here? So I would not put last year's planner in this year's cover, and I do believe I read that on the Wonderland 222 website. Oopsie. That doesn't help at all. So I think you could probably finagle it and play with it a little bit, but I'm not that invested in doing that because, well, I don't know. I might just leave this in here, actually. This year's almost over. I wish I would have looked to see, like, I know that my spine is broken in because I was looking at it. I'll have to go back on the video and look. Yeah, I don't know if I want to take this back out because I think I want to leave it in here for the rest of the year. I think I'm going to leave it in here. But it also would be interesting to see with the hairdryer trick if these two would fit. All right, I'm going to take one for the team. We're going to carry on because I know there's going to be people out there who may not have a cover from last year who want to use the 2-book system. So I'm gonna pull this out and see if I can use the hairdryer trick to get these 2 books to fit. I think it's gonna be tricky, but yeah, so there's a spine outside of that cover. So yeah, I think it was already like that then. Well, and also remember, I have things, you know, I have things sticking out. There's this right here is the deal that I told you about. So I intentionally let that to stick out just a tiny bit so it'd be easy to grab onto. But it does push out because that is curved in, but it was curved in more inside of that. And if I put it back in the planner that it came out, or excuse me, the cover that it came out of. Oh yeah, see, like that was so easy. Yeah, it's just not a good fit for this cover, which means these probably won't be either. But this is a good fit for these. All right, well, let's try it out. Let me see if I did this one year with a different brand cover. Oh, I was gonna say, oh, that's that sticky stuff. No, it's not. I think it is. I don't know. It's something off of my desk. So what I learned is it's not so much here that you want to necessarily like heat up it, as like if you're trying to stretch it out, you might want to heat it up like right here, but then you have to like get an even stretch. So we're just going to play with it a little bit. Well, first let's try and see. See, I want this one in the back. First, let's try and see. Oh, see how much easier? Oh my gosh, definitely use the hairdryer. See how much easier that went in? Yeah, that's crazy. That went in so much easier. So much easier. It makes me wonder if it's gonna fit now, both of these. Holy wow. Yeah, that was so much easier. So the spines are crushing a little bit, but I've had this happen before, meaning I was able to maneuver it before with a hairdryer, and I learned during that process that I wanted the heat to be on this part of the cover, and then to like pull it apart right here, like stretch it right here. So that's what I'm gonna do. But you also have to be careful doing that because A, you've probably got glue in this book, right? B, if you stress it too much, it could cause it to tear or tear later. So if you start playing with your cover in that way, then I would think that you're doing that on your own, you know, at your own risk, so to speak, because these technically were not built to work for a two-book system, I don't believe. I mean, you would have to ask Wonderland 222. I'm just a customer. So what I'm doing is I'm putting my finger in the middle here and then just stretching. You could put anything really. Just putting something there to stretch it, which I'm hesitant because I don't want to jack with the spines, but see how that's already a better fit? It's not a perfect fit, but it is a better fit. So I'm trying to discern if I want to keep messing with this or if I want to. Let me see. Let me see if I put a pin in there and heat it up. Just seeing if I can get that to give it a solid stretch, a uniform stretch, so to speak. Ooh, getting closer. Like this end feels pretty good, which is where the pen was. There's still a little bit of push out here. This end, not so much. So, put that pen there. All right. So when I did this before with a different brand, like if you held it just perfectly, it would work, and then it would kind of finagle its way back because it was a two-book system. And I think at that point in time is when I tried to glue the two together, which did not work because then it caused, they're not built to do that, first of all. But if you're okay with a little bit of play there, or you could continue to work with it, like I could put a belt seal here, or trying to think of where I have that, or hang on just a minute. I could also put an elastic, but see how it's kind of pulling this like you would want to here. So just gonna, now I'm trying to stretch this part of it and not so much this part of it. I'm trying to stretch that book into the edges of this. It's working pretty well, but you can still see this pushing out just a little bit right here. Like you can see how it's kind of bent inwards. But based on experience, I believe you could work with it to get it to work if you wanted to try this. It is tricky because it's a 2-book system. I will say that. I will say that based on previous experience that it was tricky back then. Like I would think that I had it, and then it would kind of concave a little bit, and again, and then you have the issue of, when you open it, you've got some play here, and how does it work when you want to write? So it's doable, but see what just happened here? Like you have to be diligent about making sure that you hold them together just right. That's not going to be my jam, but it does work in here, and that it will be my jam. But now that I have taken the hairdryer to this one, I bet you it fits this one a lot better. So, but yeah, I would take a hairdryer, if I had to do it over again, I would probably take a hairdryer straight away to this, because gosh, it made it so much easier. All right. The other alternative is a Kikuyo systemic, but I don't know that they have a B6. I know they have an A5, and I know they have an A6 because I have both of those. Yes, they have an A6, surprise. I have both of those in storage. But I don't know if they have a B6, so I have to do a search. Yeah, see, that works. It's not gonna, the spines are not gonna crush in on each other at all in this one. But there is play there, and I don't know how that will hold up. Could I make it tighter? Yes, I can, but there would still be play there, so. Not sure how that would hold up through the year. Potentially I could put some cardboard in here to sort of like reinforce it. That's an option that I might consider. And since those are what fits the 2-book system that I'm gonna try out, I just know for me, I am not going to, I will not use like a Moterm. I know that those are really popular. I just personally will not use a planner cover that extends out past the planner in a major way. Like this is fine, but it's, plastic. This, but like one that extends out like way out to here, no, it's just too bulky for me. It's not my jam. I tried it. I have some beautiful covers by a couple of companies, and it's just not my jam. I could do it for, a very small, like a 6 by 3.5 or something like that, but take these off in here. But that's about as far as I can take it. I carry, well, I don't even carry a purse anymore, actually. I used to carry a really small purse, and that's another idea. I might want to pull out my Wonderland 222 purse. That is another idea. Yeah, this fits. This fits this one kind of how I'm not sure I'm happy with the fact that I just stretched that a little bit, because now look at, so take that into consideration, like because I modified this, now it's, I mean, it'll land in here a little bit better with some, you know, bending and stuff, but I've modified it, so it's, maybe I can stick it in the freezer and it'll shrink a little bit, but it does have extra space now. And so keep that in mind if you're gonna do any mods. Yeah, I'm trying to imagine if I stick this in a book bag. I think if I put some cardboard back behind it, I just don't know that I have any cardboard that's gonna, not sure what kind of cardboard I need to put in here, but if you have done this with a 2-book system and you have any ideas for me, please drop a comment and let me know. And let's move on to the pen test. This is going to be probably a bear to upload, so I might put these in like parts. All right, so I'm going to start a new video. So this has just been a very quick put together video to show you my first impressions and some of the initial curiosities that I had once I got the planners and how I was going to make them work for me for my 2026. Come back for part 2, or go to my channel for part 2, where I dive deeper into the actual planner itself and start playing with some of my inks and watercolors and markers and Tombows. So if you want to see that, go to my channel for part 2. I hope this video has been helpful for you, and if it has, I would love it if you would subscribe and give a thumbs up. It really helps my channel to get visibility, and also helps the Wonderland 222 planner to get visibility as well. I know that people are really looking for a better paper in 2026 than they experienced in 2025. I have personally seen some samples that were sent to companies for 2026 that were Tomoe River paper that behaved or looked very similar to the 2025 paper. I don't know if they got a 2025 batch or not, but it does not look promising. So I am really glad that I chose to stick with Wonderland 222 for 2026. So if you believe that this can help someone, please share this video with them. And also for a thorough walkthrough of the planners and featuring the planners themselves, check out the Wonderland 222 YouTube channel, because they've got some really great paper tests that they've done with the paper for their 2026 planners, and I am really excited to show you my first impressions and experience with this new paper, and how it handled some of my art supplies, my Tombows. Not just handled them, not just feathering and bleed through wasn't the only thing I was looking for, but also like the spreadability of the art supplies, which has been an issue since the OG Tomoe River paper went away. So come over to my channel for that experience, and I'll just share that experience with you. Same like this, I'm just recording as I'm exploring, and you know, it's not like professionally put together, but it is put together for you. So all right, I will see you next time, and until then, I'm sending you lots and lots of love. Bye.